Remember what Dad always says? No matter how fast you run, life is about the journey.
Yo, what is going on, guys? Flashverse here, and welcome back to another video on The Flash Season 8. And I was not expecting this at all. I thought it was way too early for us to get some more material for Season 8. But look what showed up. We got a brand new trailer for the back half of The Flash Season 8, or most specifically, we got some new footage for The Flash Season 8 Episode 6 titled Impulsive Excessive Disorder, and then obviously Episode 7 titled Lockdown. And this is obviously part of Interlude Part 2. So this is the two-part filler episodes we will be getting before we go on to the next graphic novel. Yeah, we have a lot of interesting things to go over, from returning villains to time travel, surprise returns, and many more. So yeah, hopefully you guys stay throughout the whole video so you guys could get as much information as possible regarding these episodes, and hopefully you guys enjoy the breakdown as well. Now, when The Flash returns, it is actually on a new day, so The Flash will obviously return with his mid-season premiere during the 9th of March, and that is actually on a new day. It is now on a Wednesday, whereas before the episodes would normally air on Tuesdays. However, that is due to Superman and Lois as well as Naomi taking up The Flash's time slot. The Flash, at least for this season, will now be on a new day, which is now Wednesdays. Now, whether for Season 9 it will still be on Wednesdays or will it go back to Tuesdays, we don't know about that. Now, will this affect their live viewership or anything like that? I would say it's too early to speak, but I guess we will have to wait and see. I would assume it might affect it a little bit, but I'm not entirely sure. But I am also pretty surprised that they released this trailer so soon. Normally, I would have guessed that it would be like in a month's time. I would have expected this trailer to drop around like February. So I thought it was really early that we got this trailer. So this does actually lead me to assume that we will also be getting some sort of a new trailer in the next couple of weeks as well. Now, if you guys have been watching me for a while now, you guys will know my thoughts on this interlude stuff in general. For those who don't, I absolutely hated it last season. I did not like anything about it. So although from this trailer at least, this interlude does look quite better than last season, I am still very, very worried, and I am still really excited for the back half of the season after the interlude. But for this interlude arc, I will maintain very low expectations just like I did last season, because honestly, it does worry me a lot. I am really, really worried for the interlude. So once the interlude is over and we are on to the next graphic novel, I will raise that bar once again, but just for these 2 episodes, and it does look like we're just getting 2 episodes of an interlude this season. I am not looking forward to it as much as I am for the remainder of the season, despite it looking a lot more interesting and a lot better than last season. But yeah, in regards to this trailer, they did show a fair chunk of pretty interesting stuff from these coming episodes. Right off the bat, I could already notice that there's a lot more Barry, and it does look like he will be the main character, at least for episode 7, and he will no longer be making cameos like he did last season. Yes, I skipped episode 6 because Barry will only be there for the opening scene and that's it. So if you guys are expecting to get a lot of Barry for episode 6, then you're gonna be disappointed, because Barry will just be there for the opening scene, and then we're just gonna kick off with Bart and Nora, and then Jay Garrick will be appearing in that episode as well. But that is understandable that we're not getting any Barry, because Grant Gustin does really deserve a break after Armageddon, and the episode does still look fun because we do still have some speedster stuff going on. There are returning characters like Eddie Thawne and Jay Garrick, and obviously we do have a lot of time travel involved as well. So it does look fun and interesting, but as I said, just because it's under the name Interlude, I will put the bar quite low. Now, unfortunately, I'm not allowed to play the trailer due to copyright issues. I know a lot of content creators do play the trailers on their videos, but for those who do not know, they do still get copyright claimed, and I just don't want to take that risk. So for those who haven't seen the trailer yet, I will link in the description down below so you guys could obviously check it out. Okay, so the trailer kicks off with Nora and Bart in the year 2014, And we get this girl pretty much sarcastically telling Bart that she is from the future, and Bart gets so excited about this he cannot contain himself, and he reveals that he's also from the future, and Nora is quite frustrated about that, which does obviously make sense because he's ruining the timeline by interacting with these past people already. So him revealing that he's from the future, it would still be a timeline change as well, so it is very dangerous to the timeline. We do then have Nora telling Bart that they really need to focus on the task and fix the timeline. Now, obviously, the premise of this episode will be on the point of view of Bart and Nora, and we will be kicking off this episode right after the vow renewal from the Flash Season 7 finale, and that is actually why we're having Barry for just the opening scene, because we need Barry for the opening scene, and he's going to say goodbye to the kids, and then we're not going to see Barry at all in this episode after that vow renewal scene. But yeah, after the kids say goodbye to their past version of their parents, they will go back to their timeline, so 2049. And we do obviously get a couple of shots in this trailer where Nora does also mention that the timeline is in flux. So I'm guessing that due to the events of Armageddon and timeline changes created by it, Nora and Bart will find out about these different timeline changes, and their mission will pretty much just be to time travel to these different points in time and fix what's different. Eric Wallace did obviously mention that the repercussions of Armageddon will ripple onto the back half of the season quite a lot, and we do obviously know that we did get some decent chunk of timeline changes taking place because of Armageddon, so it does seem like we will kind of be dealing with that aspect of it during this episode, with Bart and Nora trying to fix what's been changed. Now, we do also have this alternate shot of Eddie Thawne, and this is obviously during 2014 when Barry was in a coma. And we do obviously know that Eddie, Bart, and Nora will be having some sort of interactions in this episode, and I'm really looking forward to seeing them. We do also get a lot more shots of Bart and Nora in Barry's lab. It will be interesting to see what they're doing over there. Are they trying to hide and find a secret place to do some superhero stuff? Because they cannot go to Star Labs because that's where Barry is at. He's in a coma, and obviously Harrison Wells, Cisco, and Caitlin would be there. And well, Barry's office is free. No one is there because Barry's in a coma. So I'm guessing that they're just going to use Barry's lab as a way to contain and do their superhero stuff because there's nowhere else that they could go. We do also have a couple of alternate shots of Joe West and Eddie Thawne during the jewelry heist, and we do also see Sterling Brooks over here as well. But yeah, as I said, this episode does genuinely seem interesting, and as I said, it does seem interesting. It does have a lot of things that fans do really like, such as the speedster stuff, the time travel aspects of it, and obviously returning characters. It is just me. I'm not going to hype this episode or raise the bar too much because I am very worried about it because, as I said before, it is an interlude. So yeah, I guess we will have to wait and see in regards to how good or bad this episode will be. Now, in terms of episode 7, we do have a couple of shots with Joe pep talking Barry about belief, and later on in the trailer we do have Frost mentioning something about believing in the impossible. So I am assuming that whatever is going on in this episode, it has something to do with that aspect of it. But we do have the legend himself, the man, the myth, the legend. Daddy likes the metal. Goldface is returning for this episode, and obviously we know what he's after. He is obviously after the metal, and for those who have been watching my live streams, you guys know I called it. You guys know I called it. Obviously, I meant it as a joke at that time. I just said, imagine if we got Jacob Birch, Sterling Brooks, and Goldface as the villains of the interlude, and it actually looks like it's happening, which is pretty hilarious on my part. But yeah, I cannot believe I actually predicted this, and it's really, really sick. But yeah, as I said, Goldface, he's obviously after the metal. We do see him breaking into the CCPD's armory, and yes, he's gonna go after the metal. Of course he's gonna go after the metal, but also he might take a little bit of a peek on the extra amount of gold the Flash has added onto his suit, and will most probably admire them. Now, once again, this is an episode I'm really worried about because it is an interlude, but Goldface is a very funny character, so I am looking forward to this episode just because of Goldface, because I do like it when he shows up because it is really funny. I know a lot of people do not like him as a villain, but you just cannot deny the fact that he's a really funny character. So I am I am quite interested in this episode just because Goldface is returning. I honestly didn't know this was happening, but when I saw Goldface in the trailer, I was laughing. I was honestly laughing because in my stream I'm like, okay, just imagine if we get Goldface as a villain for an interlude episode, and it's actually happening. It's just pretty hilarious. But what I think they're trying to do over here with these interlude episodes is that they're just trying to make it fun and enjoyable rather than just a full storyline with a lot of seriousness. But yeah, CCPD is on lockdown due to Goldface's invasion, but this episode seems to highly include Barry as well as Kristen Kramer, which is a very interesting duo to have an episode on. They did have a pretty good dynamic during episode 1 of this season, so I am interested to see more of their interactions together. Now, obviously, Barry cannot use his powers because Kristen Kramer doesn't know that Barry is the Flash, so just because of that, I doubt that we will be getting much flashy action, just going from what we're seeing in the trailer. Obviously, we could end up seeing a lot of Flash stuff. I just doubt that we would, at least for the majority of the episode. However, from the trailer, we do also get a couple of shots of Barry and CCPD, and we do have people in the background like clapping to the Flash. So it is highly likely that Barry did find a way to eventually suit up and take down Goldface. So he might end up becoming the Flash towards the end of the episode. Who knows? But we do also have this shot of Barry suited up as the Flash being surrounded by police cars. So yeah, I am really interested to see what that is about as well, because I'm not entirely sure if this is for episode 7. It could also be for episode 8, but I think this is going to be like early episode 7, somewhere around there. Now, we do have some very interesting shots in this trailer as well, and it is the shot of young Barry and the shot of Henry Allen. So over here, we are actually at the night Nora Allen was murdered, and I just kept questioning, wait, why are they showing this scene? So this does lead me to believe that it's either got to do with Bart and Nora doing something in this timeline. So we could be seeing Bart and Nora doing more time travel than just 2014. They could just be going to other points in time, because as I said, we do know that Jacob Birch will also be a villain of the interlude episodes, and Jacob Birch is from 2016, I think it was, whenever Iris became the Flash. It was that year. So we could be getting more time travel than just 2014. I'm not entirely sure though. It could also be related to some other episode as well, but honestly, I have no clue about this. But I am really intrigued about this, and maybe it could potentially set something up for the next graphic novel. But yeah guys, thanks for watching. If you guys have enjoyed the video, please give a like and subscribe. Be sure to tell me in the comment section down below if you guys are excited for these interlude episodes. I'm interested to see all of your thoughts towards all of this as well. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video.